Sharon Haver, and this
is Brad Boles from the Real Housewives of New York City.
What were you just doing?
It was a schmata. I was having a moment.
Schmata-izing.
Yes, I just came from France seeing FocusOnStyle.
So anyway, one of the things we want to let you know is how not to look
We haven't been drinking.
we really need to, but we haven't been. Is how not to look like Shirley Slatina. So what this is going to be about is we're going to talk to you about how not to squirm on a chair when somebody pushes you, and what to wear for dinner with a client or for a business dinner. A lot of times you go have a business dinner and it's immediately after work and it's in a nicer restaurant, a 4-star type of restaurant, and you want to wear something that's appropriate, but you don't necessarily want to wear something that's as stuffy, provocative or stuffy as that you.
The last thing that you want to do is the client that you're having dinner with. You don't want them to think you're coming on to them. Well, or maybe you do. It's true. You know, it's funny because
you don't want to dress in a way that the client perceives that you may be coming on.
Or you may want to dress that way if there's something that you need to get out of them. I don't know, but isn't that like an age-old theory?
Tell me your company's secrets, little boy.
Yeah.
No. You want to dress in a way where you're a little bit more elegant and a little more chic, and you want to be able to be in a professional, seen in a professional light, and as someone who's stylish and has it together, as in control and powerful, not as kind of a ditzy little kind of gal. And the way you do that
is generally with an A-line skirt. I love A-line skirts. I think A-line skirts look very flirty but sexy. I love jewel tone dresses, and of course, I love a peekaboo toe.
Peekaboo toe? That's on your shoes.
The reason why is because it tends to be a bit more girly, the peekaboo toe.
Do you wear them?
I have been known to. And, you know, as opposed to wearing a severe pointed pump, which kind of screams bitch on wheels. And you know, and I think that you also I mean, I've always recommended my clients that they do want to dress a little bit flirty, but they also want to be a bit girlish, and they don't want to look too aggressive with the power shoulders, the Joan Collins.
No, you want to look in control. That you know, someone will respect what actually comes out of your mouth, and they're not spending the entire dinner looking in your cleavage, and they're not spending the entire dinner not knowing where. Especially men get really confused with women who wear a lot of jewelry.
And it's clanking, and it's clanking, and the bangles,
and they get distracted. You know, their brains don't work as quickly as ours, and they need more focus, right?
I mean, if you're doing a power dinner after work, and it's mixed company, and it's both men and women, yes, you can dress a little bit more aggressively. Women like that.
You can be fashionable and stylish, but you don't want to be half naked.
No, and you don't want to look like Joan Crawford, unless you're, you know, on the board of directors. Well, that was in a movie. Anyway, yes. So the point is that if you're going to do the
was she the actress who said, "If you want the girl next door, go next door"?
That could have been her.
I love that line.
I also think that, you know, the problem is once you get past the entrance, the sitting down. Oh, that's another issue that I have, by the way, and it's in my column coming up this following week, which you can get on FocusOnStyle.com.
Shameless plug.
Oh no, it's true. I talk about one of the worst things that happens in the fall is we are burdened with coats, scarves, umbrellas, and bags, and a lot of times you're rushing from work to a dinner, and you run right past the coat check. They're there for a reason, and you just start to plop everything down and disrobe and put it all in a chair.
Disrobe, you know, he has this really weird way of how he thinks you get the job. Do you notice this subliminal suggestions?
Well,
don't listen to him.
Or you think that you're stripping down to your panties in a restaurant? No. But, so ladies and gentlemen, there are coat checks. When going to a dinner, check your coat, check your umbrella.
And when you pick it up, make sure you give the coat check a tip, or they're going to think you're really cheap. People notice that. And when you meet people, strong handshake. There is nothing worse than a weak handshake, particularly on a man. But what do you do? Don't grab the person's hand like you're going to kill them, and don't sit there.
And what do you
shake
do with the
their hand
briefcase?
like that. You can, if you need the briefcase for stuff that you're going to pull out, you can bring it with you, but otherwise you check it.
You check it. Now, one of the big things also that, one of the big pet peeves that I have, and ladies, please don't redo your lipstick at the table.
Ugh.
You know.
With a knife?
No, with a knife. Francine Fakakta does that. But, So, and one of the other things that
I think it's kind of like any kind of grooming habit you might have should not be done at the table. Don't pick your teeth.
Don't pluck your eyebrows.
Don't pluck your eyebrows. Don't pluck your hairy sweater. Don't put your lipstick on. Don't powder your nose.
Look confident.
And if you want to check for food in your teeth, don't do it at the table. And, just maybe be a little bit more...
That really is awful when people start checking their teeth.
I know.
Food. They're like... One of the things also that I find very, very annoying is when...
Don't burp.
When people are checking their text messages and their emails while at a dinner. You mean under the table?
No.
And it's so obvious.
Or you know what it's like with Brad? His phone isn't here, but mine is. He'd be like this. I'm dinner with Brad.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can multitask, but I don't do all those things at once. It depends. It depends on if you're using your phone as your out of office experience, which I'm always on the road. But I definitely will.
Or if you have that, what's that thing? There's that fake text where all of a sudden you hear a ding and you're like, oh, I have to go answer that and go outside. It's like, oh my God, get me out of here.
Of course, well that does happen. People are warned. Now, so ladies, I do recommend that if you are going to go to a dinner, you're making the transition from the office to the restaurant, you can throw on a pair of pearls, you can throw on a kind of glitzy necklace. It does make a nice transition. If you're somebody that tends to get cold at night, one of my biggest recommendations is bring a pashmina with you, throw it over your shoulders.
A pretty scarf.
Most restaurants do keep their heat low. They don't want their clients schwitzing or sweating.
Schwitzing is not.
So, and the other thing is, if your client isn't there yet and you're waiting at the bar, I don't recommend that you eat the bar peanuts. You know why.
Why, Brad? They're going to give you under-eye puffiness. They're going to make you pee. You're going to drink more.
Well, they said that because other people are using them, that there are germs on your hands. And they say that bar peanuts are very dangerous.
It depends. Now, what was the bar that you went to the other night? Brad had invited me to meet him for a drink at a gay bar. I haven't been at a gay bar in years.
Oh, well, my friend, it's very funny. It's a friend of mine. He is actually an extraordinary publisher and an editor, and he wanted to have a drink, and we were in Chelsea, and so he wanted to meet at the G Bar, which is this very famous bar that's been around for 100 years. And I texted a friend of mine and said, why don't you meet us there for a drink? I'd love you to meet my friend Dawn.
You want to go to Splash.
And he texted me back, and he goes, you mean that place that looks like a mortuary? And so ultimately, though, we ended up getting there. What was so nice about it was they weren't all these young little twinks. It was nice. They were actually sophisticated people, except this one guy was wearing riding boots, skin-tight pants, and a riding jacket with a crop.
The crop.
Mm-hmm. And he was about 60. That was and
he was looking for his pony.
Yeah, and he had a Gerard bag.
Oh, well, that's another story. But anyway, back to what you should and shouldn't do. The other thing is when you're on a business dinner, please, I don't care if you come from that old school way of thinking that you can, have your drinks for lunch. Don't have more than one or two drinks. If you can, just dilute it over the course of the evening. You don't want to be plastered. You don't want to be the person dancing.
You don't want to be us. You don't want to be us at the end of the night.
This is natural. I can't drink a lot. When I do, I fall asleep. I'm like the biggest bore. It's like more than... But, we went to Brad's house in the country, and he was pretty plastered. Why don't you go answer that phone? See if someone was invited.
Well, I was in my own home. I didn't have to drive anywhere. That's the good news. Anyway, listen, obviously this is our cue. Check us out, FocusOnStyle.com, and remember, if you're going to go out for a power dinner, dress right.
Don't turn your phone off. Put it on mute.
Yeah.
Take care.
And don't fall into your soup.
Bye.